I thought my daughter was just scared of the dark. She was 7, that was normal. But the way she described what she saw didn't sound like imagination. She didn't say it chased her. She didn't say it growled. She said it was standing very still, like it didn't want to be noticed, and that it smiled when it realized she was looking at it. My daughter has always been honest. Not the polite kind of honest, but the blunt kind that doesn't understand why adults lie. So when she told me there was someone in the basement, I didn't laugh. I asked her what she meant. She said it wasn't someone we knew. It was someone who didn't belong in the house. At first, I assumed it was fear. The basement was unfinished. Concrete walls, low light, strange noises from the pipes. I told her the house was old and old houses made sounds. She listened carefully. Then she shook her head. She said sounds don't watch you. I asked her when she had seen it. She said not all at once. She said she noticed it the same way you notice someone standing behind you, by accident, out of the corner of her eye. She said it stayed near the stairs, always in the same place, always waiting. I went down to the basement that night. I turned on every light. I checked behind shelves, around corners, inside the crawl space. Nothing was there. No open doors, no broken windows. When I came back upstairs, she asked if it had moved. I told her no. She said, "Then it's still there." Over the next few days, she stopped going near the basement door. She walked wide around it, like there was something invisible taking up space. One evening, I heard her whispering. I asked who she was talking to. She looked confused. Then she said, "I wasn't talking. I was listening." That night, I stayed awake longer than usual. I listened to the house settle, to the quiet hum of appliances, to the slow rhythm of breathing down the hall. Nothing sounded wrong, but the silence felt arranged, like something was careful not to make noise. I checked the basement door again. It was closed, locked, exactly how I had left it. The next morning, my daughter asked if we could move. Not someday, soon. She said the thing downstairs had learned our schedule. She said it knew when we slept and when we left. I asked how she could know that. She said, "It listens like I do." I tried to get her to explain. She said it didn't walk around. It didn't need to. It stayed where it was, because everything else came to it eventually. The stairs, the hallway, the door at the top. She said it liked the house, that it hoped we wouldn't leave. That afternoon, I noticed marks on the basement door. Not scratches, finger smudges. High up, too high for her. They weren't fresh, but they weren't old either. I wiped them away without telling her. She noticed anyway. She asked why I made it angry. I asked her what happened when it got angry. She said it didn't yell. It didn't move faster. It smiled wider. She said it practiced. Practiced standing still. Practiced being quiet. Practiced looking like nothing until someone was close enough to be sure. That night, the basement door was open, just an inch, enough to notice. I stood at the top of the stairs holding my breath. The light below was off, but I could see the outline of the steps and something else, a shape that didn't move when I turned the light on. I turned the light on fully. The shape didn't disappear. It didn't move. It was standing at the bottom of the stairs, pressed close to the wall, as if it had learned where shadows were deepest. It wasn't tall. It wasn't short. It was sized like it belonged there, like the house had made room for it. I didn't go down. I closed the door slowly, careful not to make noise. When I turned around, my daughter was standing behind me. She wasn't scared. She looked relieved. She said, "It knows you saw it now. That's good. Now it won't pretend anymore. I asked her what it wanted. She thought about it. Then she said it wanted us to stop pretending too, to stop acting like the house was ours. She said it had lived there longer, long enough to learn how people sound when they lie to themselves. We didn't sleep that night. We sat together in the living room, every light on. At some point, I realized the house sounded different. Quieter, not empty, patient, like something was waiting for us to make a decision it already knew the answer to. The next morning, we packed only what we could carry. I didn't tell anyone why. I didn't list the house for sale. Some places shouldn't change hands. As we left, my daughter looked back. She waved. Not goodbye, just acknowledgement. We live somewhere else now. She sleeps through the night again. But sometimes when we visit other houses, she watches the corners. She listens. And if she squeezes my hand, I know it's time to leave. Because some things don't follow families. They wait for them to come back.